In this video, I'm going to be taking you step by step on exactly how I went from knowing nothing about TikTok ads to making over $1,000 per day with them in just under a week. What's going on, everybody? Tanner here with another video. Hope you're all having an amazing and productive day so far. In this video, I'm going to be taking you step by step on exactly how to set up TikTok ads, how to get up to $2,300 in free ad spend, and what I wish I knew before I actually started running ads on this platform. And if you're looking to get into e-commerce or at least expand on what you're already doing during this holiday season, I highly suggest you apply for my advertising agency where we find products for you and we test and scale them on Facebook. All you gotta do is click the top link in the description and I'll see you there. Now, I know a lot of people have tended to stay away from the TikTok ad platform since it became public, but I would highly suggest you not do that because it's an untapped platform. You know, maybe you're thinking, my product's not gonna work on here, my product's too expensive, or I just don't wanna learn a new platform. But the reality of it is that there's a lot of money to be made on this platform, and even if you think you may be confused by the ads platform itself, I'm gonna show you how to navigate through it, what everything means, and how to actually get your first ads up. I promise you it's not as complicated as it seems. But I want you to know that you shouldn't be opposed to not running TikTok ads just because of the product that you're selling. It doesn't matter if it's for older people, if it's something higher ticket, it really does not matter. There's so many people on TikTok and a lot of people aren't really running ads compared to Facebook, so you should take advantage of it while you can, especially while you can get up to $2,300 in free ad spend. So what they're doing right now because of COVID is once you set up your ad account, verify your business manager, they're gonna go ahead and give you $300 in free ad credits. And then after that, you're gonna be able to get an additional $2,000 in free ad spend because the way that TikTok ads works for billing, you have to add from a card to your balance on TikTok. So let's say you put in $1,000, they're gonna match that and put $2,000 in your ad spend balance, and you can run ads with all those funds. So even if you're just getting into e-commerce and you just wanna save money or at least get more bang for your buck, I highly suggest you take advantage of this while they're still offering it. And one last thing here that I wish I knew before I actually launched TikTok ads is to not expect things to move super quick. You know, the ads that you actually launch are manually reviewed. I learned from an ad rep that I've been working with. So it's not like an automated system like Facebook. When you submit your ads to run, those have to get manually reviewed by a person. So there's really two negative sides of this. One, it's gonna take longer to get approved. And two, they're gonna be more strict. And I noticed that my ads get approved somewhat based on the person because sometimes something will get approved and then someone else will review that same ad if I put it in another ad set or ad group as TikTok calls it, and it'll get declined for one specific reason. But the process is pretty easy where you can fix it. So we're gonna get into the actual ads manager in 1 minute. I'm gonna show you how to set everything up. But what you need to do first before you can actually run ads is make sure your pixel is set up. So if you're using Shopify, it's super easy. Just go to the App Store, type in TikTok. It's gonna be a little plugin, and then you'll go through there, check some marks, and then you're good to go. It's gonna automatically install the pixel. You don't have to do anything manual. And then all you have to do after that is get the TikTok Pixel Helper. So what that's gonna be able to do is you're gonna be able to go on your website, look at that Pixel Helper, and make sure that your pixel is active. And if you're not seeing it, just make sure your ad blocker is disabled. That's most likely the reason. And just go through, click add to cart, go to your checkout. Just make sure everything's firing correctly. And then once you do that, you're good to go. So let's go ahead and set up some ads. So this is what it actually looks like on the TikTok Ads Manager. So it's actually very similar to Facebook. There's a few things that are different, but in the grand scheme of things, they're very similar. So when you're creating a new campaign, this is what it's gonna look like. And now for me, I haven't really messed with these other objectives. I've always just gone directly for conversions. I'm gonna leave it how it is right now and go to continue. So now we're on the ad group section, which in Facebook terms would be called an ad set. So the first thing I'm always doing is changing the placement because these are several different apps owned by the company, owned by TikTok. But we want to run ads just on TikTok. That's the main priority. That's why I'm launching ads on the TikTok ad platform. So this is really the only thing I'm going to do when I'm first launching ads on TikTok as far as breakdowns is the placement for TikTok. So you're going to scroll down, you're going to see ad details. So URL right here is where you're going to actually put where your destination speed is, whether that's a product page is what I would recommend, or a home page if you have more of a funnel style store. So right here it says TikTok Pixel. All you're gonna do is click this drop down, select your pixel, and then over here it's gonna be the event that you wanna optimize for, and you're gonna press complete payment, which is what we're looking for, is purchases. So here on display name is actually what it's gonna show as your TikTok username. It's not your actual username, but you wanna keep it as simple as possible. It's not like you have to have a specific username that's not taken, you can call it whatever you want. So keep it simple, and then right here on profile image is going to be the actual little circle image that people are going to see when they scroll onto your TikTok ad. So just upload your logo if you have one. Just keep it simple. You don't need to do anything too fancy. And I usually leave these two things on here where you can have comments and downloads, just because more engagement can overall help. As far as a creative type, I leave this off. I like to set up my own creatives and just leave it exactly how I set it up so I can see what's working. And now when we get down here to targeting, it's a bit different than Facebook as far as the actual targeting itself goes. So right here where it says audiences, that's where you have your custom audiences if you have those. But just starting off, I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that. We're gonna keep it as simple as possible. So here you're gonna put in your countries that you're targeting. We're just gonna leave the United States right now. And we're not gonna do any breakdowns. The same way I would run a Facebook ads for testing a product, I'm not gonna do any breakdowns because this is what's gonna allow us to scale in the future. If you guys wanna see how to do that in a future video, let me know in the comments. But if we just narrowed it down by male and 18 to 24, we're not gonna be able to see what other demographics are working. It's just like the Facebook ad platform. You wanna let TikTok do what it does best. Let it optimize, don't break down anything, and just keep it simple. Now, as far as the actual interest itself, it's not like Facebook where you can just type in a brand name or something super specific. You have pretty much just these categories here. So they're very, very general and there's not a ton of them, but you can get more specific when you come down here to categories and go down to different things where, let's say you want to go to family and emotion, and we're going to go down to family and baby, if we're selling a baby product. So now you're going to choose a video related action. Now, usually what I'm doing is clicking all of them just so I have a larger audience size. If you go over here, you'll see your audience size, and then you're gonna choose 7 or 15 days, which is gonna be the time frame. So let's say, for example, we chose baby, so this is gonna be people that have watched to the end or liked or commented or shared on a baby related video in the last 15 days. So the audience is somewhat small. We've done a strict behavior, and you can generalize it more, but I always start my first ad group with no interest at all, just clearing it. Everything's no limit. So we're gonna uncheck all of that. And then devices right here, you can get specific with it later on, like I said, with OS versions, the connections, all that good stuff. But right now, we're leaving that as clear as we can. And now we have to get to the most important parts of your ad group itself, because the targeting, everything we've left alone, it's gonna run your ad by a few thousand people, get some impressions, and get a good idea on what type of people are interested in your ad and what behaviors those people have, and continue to bring you more quality people. Now, a TikTok ad rep told me to set my daily budget on an ad group to be 20 times what my goal cost per purchase is. So naturally, you would want to put the lowest budget as possible because you want a low cost per purchase, but you have to think of it in a realistic way. If your goal cost per purchase is $10 and you want to do 20 times that, then you'll have a $200 a day budget. Now, obviously that's not suitable for most people getting into this because you don't want to just go into a platform not knowing how it works and spending a lot of money. So for me, I started off doing budgets at $50 a day, and you can do 20 even if you want. It really doesn't matter, I would say, but things are just gonna move a bit slower. At first they told me to do 20 times my goal cost per purchase. I'm like, all right, they just want me to spend more money on the platform. So naturally, I wanted to give it a shot just to see, and it actually ended up working and picking up after a couple of days. It was slow, it started getting sales, and then it became profitable. That's something we're gonna get into here in a minute as far as analyzing the results. I would recommend doing a $50 a day or less budget just to start so you can get an idea on how it all works. And as you start to see a couple sales roll in, you can turn this ad group off and just change the budget to be 20 times what your goal cost per purchase actually is if it's making you consistent profit. And as far as schedule goes, there really isn't a specific time. Like for Facebook, I would say midnight because you can get ads approved pretty quick. But here on TikTok, it can take a while to get approved, even days. So I really wouldn't recommend. You don't need to make a schedule. Just let them run once they get approved. So now we're down here to the bidding and optimization section, where it's a lot different than Facebook. You can't just choose automatic bidding. You actually have to place a manual bid for the auction. So basically what you're doing right now is telling TikTok, I want to spend X amount per conversion. That's your goal. That's what you want to do. So it's going to take that, it's going to start spending money, and eventually you're going to be able to go on here. It's going to give you a recommendation of bidding and tell you what to do. So usually you don't want to go below its recommendation, at least to start off, because as time goes on, it gets more sales and optimizes, then it's going to go lower and lower. But to start, you usually want to do 20 to 30% of whatever you're selling your product for. So if you're selling something for $100, go ahead and I would just put the max 30%. So $30 as my bid for a conversion. Now, usually what I would do for me, where I've seen the best results, is just putting in a bid at where I would be completely just breaking even. Because what that's gonna be able to do is get me more and more sales, and I'm gonna start winning the auction, and TikTok's gonna favor me. And then over time, every few days, you can start to lower the bid by a little bit. And then down here, you have more options. I just leave all of this how it is. And now we're going next to the creative section. So now we're on the actual creative section, which is gonna be what's showing on the platform. You can only do video ads. It's not like Facebook because this is a video platform. So you wanna make something that's native to the platform. So using sounds that are popular on the platform at the time, whether you have someone that makes your ads or you do them yourself, you know, you just want to make a video and make sure it's the aspect ratio of TikTok. And you can do squares and rectangles. It's just going to not look native to the platform, but your best results are going to be coming from making native ads to the platform. And even if you just have your product in-house and you take a little video with your iPhone and you crop it and you send it over here, you don't even need to add music or anything. You can just come here and go down, create a video, and then use the different options that they have. And now any of these are pretty simple to use. You know, usually what you can do is you can either use a template where you can add your own text and logo, but any of them you can add music in. I would say the most simple ads are the ones that work best. Now, obviously, as you start to see sales, you can reinvest profits into having professional ads made, but just think of anything that's native to TikTok. So if you use TikTok, you know, see what's trending as far as sounds go, as far as trends, and try and relate your product to those specific trends during this time, because that's what's going to get you the most sales. Because people aren't going to be instantly like, oh, this is an ad. They're going to tie it together, at least for those first few seconds, and see it as another TikTok in their feed, and then you're pulling their attention in, and hopefully that leads to a sale. And all you're going to do is press submit down here, and now your ads are going to be running as soon as they get approved. And my last line I have under here is have multiple creatives under the ad group. So the ad group is your ad set, and all you have to do is do the same thing. So once that campaign's made, just click on your ad group, and then you go to ads, and then you just press duplicate, and you switch the video. Now on your copy of your ad, you don't really have much room, so you have to take advantage of that, but keep it simple, just a one line, and then a call to action you choose, like shop now. Don't use any like weird symbols, you can't use emojis, but add 2 to 4 ad creatives under each ad group, because what that's gonna do is allow TikTok to test a few different creatives. They can be very similar if you want them to, and you're just gonna be able to see what exactly is working best. And now let's actually get into how to analyze the TikTok ads so you know what to do with your next steps. As someone who is brand new to TikTok ads, I was expecting it to be like Facebook and run super quick, but you know, give it some time, let them run for 2 days. An issue that I had off the bat was that the ads actually weren't spending money. You know, hey, I'm trying to give you money here, take my money. So just let them run for 2 days is the magic number, and see what happens on that 3rd day. Now, a common issue is they're not spending the full budget. So after those 2 days, if your budget still aren't spending fully, what you can do is just raise your bid. Because basically what that means is, you know, you're not getting enough clicks for TikTok to push your ad more, and you're not really winning in the auction. So there's not money to be spent. That money that you've allocated in the budget is being taken by other advertisers that have a higher bid. So raise your conversion bid. Even if you're just breaking even, you're gonna just do that for a couple of days, bring in some more sales, and as it starts to bring in some traction, you can lower that bid slowly every couple of days, but you don't wanna do it multiple times a day or every single day. And since you have multiple creatives under there, just pay attention to them and aim for a 1% or more click-through rate. That's what I've heard from ad reps that are like what the top advertisers are doing consistently with all their different ad testing and stuff. So just aim for 1% overall. And if you need to, test more ad creatives. And when you have ad creatives that aren't really running too well, you can just go ahead and turn those off. And one thing to keep in mind is that it's gonna take over 50 sales for your ad group to get out of the learning phase. So try not to make any huge changes. You know, once something's up, just leave it there. The only changes I would make is turning off creatives that aren't working and editing your bid. And as far as having more ad groups in your campaign, it's very similar to Facebook. But if you want me to go more in depth on the next steps for TikTok ads, just go ahead and leave a like and comment on this video. But this is exactly what I did to take myself from knowing nothing about TikTok ads to making over $1,000 a day in revenue in just under a week. So take advantage of it and let me know how it goes in the comments. And make sure if you want to get into e-commerce or expand on what you're already doing this holiday season, apply to my ad agency. We'll find products for you, test them, and scale what works. So all you have to do is go to the top of the description, click that link, and I'll be in touch with you soon. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.